Hey, everybody. And by everybody, I mean Seventh Son. What's happening? I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the lifeboat. Seventh, how are you, bud? Good to see you, man. Glad that you're here. Uh, they'll trickle in. I don't think we're going to get an announcement on this one. So we'll see. We'll see if anybody shows up. The normal 5 o'clock crew should be here, but we're not going to get an announcement out of this. We only get a couple of announcements. Normally, we only get a couple of announcements a day out of the big red button. So the computer, everything on the entire internet screwed up on me all at once. I couldn't put up a thumbnail. And the thumbnail is great because the thumbnail was a gravestone. And it actually just looked real as hell. I will get it up eventually, but it said, "Here lie the haters." Hey, DJ Daddy, you got one. All right. So look at that. Some people are actually maybe we're stepping up, people. Like I said, for the first couple of years, they assumed that every single time I came on here, I was like, you know what you need to do is go get some dope and get it in your vein, right? Like that was. They assumed that that's what we had going on here at the Lifeboat, that we were a drug channel. Like I was coming here and telling people to get high, and so they demonetized everything. You know, we never ever got a break in any way in terms of catching anything that got monetized. And I know this is boring behind the baseball stuff, but out of the blue, about I'd say 5 or 6 months ago, we got one that got a full green, and we were like, you know, all parties involved were like, what did I do differently on that video that got me approved? Because, you know, it's not like I tried doing the C or, Peruvian marching powder, right? The devil's lettuce. And I played that game forever, right? Just all of the stupid stuff that you say to try to get around the censor, right? And the algorithm, and then I just said, screw it, and called it heroin and cocaine, and I don't care, and amazingly now I can come on and say heroin, coke, anything I want. And we get full monetized on just about every video. If we don't, it's because I'm picking on the beast from the East country. If I talk about that country that starts with the letter C, I can get demonetized pretty quickly. They, for whatever reason, don't like that subject matter. But so I'm pretty happy to be seeing this channel treated like what it is. We're a peer support group is what we are. We're not a pro drug channel. So it's kind of nice. People, I'm going to tell you something. This has been a day where YouTube has felt remarkably like a job. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but like I have worked today. I took 2 hours off to go play with cats. But other than that, I have been filming. Snot, good to see you. You're becoming a pro at giving subcutaneous fluids to a fox. Well, good luck with that, hon. I hope that that goes well. Giselle, I know I've never welcomed Giselle Leclerc to the Lifeboat. My addiction is food. I understand how hard it is to stop. It is the biggest addiction on the planet, or used to be. I think that it probably now is the smartphone. Hey, this is, thank God's is what this is, right? Thank God for Hunter Haas. I'm very glad to hear that, Hunter. We love you too. And we're glad to hear that your mom is doing all right. Fantastic. You can't find my channel on Rumble, Emma. That's unfortunate. It's over there. It's under the same name. So I don't know. It's the Lifeboat on Rumble. But it is over there because I just left there and I just did a show and got feedback from it. So there were people that caught it. And I say that because there are times I've gone over and actually done shows and not gotten feedback and gone, oh Lord, I just did an entire 45-minute, rah session, and then there's nobody that heard anything. So what I'm going to do today, do we have a Linda here? Or are you talking about Linda? Oh, hello, Linda. Good to see you. You couldn't find it on Rumble either. Well, that's horrifying. I'm going to figure out what the problem is. I promise, people, but it is there. It is, Emma. It is, and it is up there. Yep. They went to church and then came and cursed you out. Well, that's just awful. I really find that awful. I've been subscribed for months. Lurk, 36 years sober, and I live every day grateful and aware that I have only today. Love what you're doing here. Barbara Swanson, you rock. You absolutely rock. I can't believe all of the people that couldn't find us on. That is a problem with them over there. I promise you it's over there. It really is. This is for you. That is amazing, Barbara. Congratulations. 36 years. Hats off. Stomp a foot, light a match. Seriously, if you got a lighter, light one. That's awesome, hon. It really is. 36 years is a lifetime. A lifetime to be sober. God bless you. God bless you. That is fantastic. Yeah. Let me see something here real quick. Yeah. It's under the same name on Rumble. I'm looking at it. It does read The Lifeboat. So I'm not sure. Maybe someone will get a link up to some people. Or you know what? The links will always be over on the Facebook Safe Harbor group page. Now I want to talk about the Safe Harbor Facebook page. People, this is a place to go and exchange information, right? You're not going to say to somebody, hey man, here's my email address in the comment section. Please don't. Right? Don't put your info or contact info out like that. Don't do that. But if you get over to YouTube, then you can start DMing each other and you can start to build and we connect, right? You get connections. And when connections start to build, good things begin to happen, right? I promise. So start reaching out. It is a great place. Awesome, Sarah. It is a great place to go and meet up with other lifeboaters. And these are all people that understand exactly, what you're going through. They're people on the boat. It's not like normal Facebook. It is very much like the lifeboat. We just use their platform. I don't do anything else on Facebook other than the lifeboat. But there are about 500 or so of you that are over there. So there's a good group of people. Yes, Kat. She's not happy with me because she smells 36 other cats on me. So she's been a little snippy since she got home. But I had received a couple of emails from people that said the connection thing is huge, but I don't want to put my contact information out. No, it's the reason we have other platforms so that you can go to other platforms and you can hit people up with you're right. Rumble has no censorship. You can say what you want on Rumble. That's the truth. The tattoo. Yes, you'd be mad too. I know. But you know what? Here's the thing. I want to get a cat for Squirrel. I want Squirrel to have a friend. You know what I mean? I feel like it's messed up to own a cat and not have another one. It's like I'm keeping her from the only thing that she relates to are human beings. I would love to see her be able to relate to another animal. But it's thank you, Michael J. It is a family. It really is. I'm proud as hell of starting the lifeboat. Everything that happened after that, I didn't have a whole lot to do with, but I'll take credit for starting it to be sure. But it is super important that the connection thing becomes real. Facebook's huge. It really is for us. It's huge. And with we have with almost 500 or a little over 500 or something like that there, that's a good size percentage in compared to other places. Willie Sutton was asked why he robbed banks. He said, that's where the money is. Uncle Radley. Yes, that is exactly what Willie Sutton said. And it is, they keep some money there. They keep less than you'd think, but they do keep some money there. And yes, I am a convicted bank robber. Yeah, Barbara, you do rock. You really do. Yankee Kyle, good to see you. Glad that you're here. I've been getting a lot of emails from people who say, how can I exchange information with people? How can I do this safely? And look, the way you do it safely is over there. Get over, join the Facebook group page, right? Start interacting, start meeting people. take it to the next level, right? It really is. It's about peer support. It's about people who are all here pulling in the same direction for one another so that everybody can be happy. Good evening from Colorado. Nick, good to see you. Glad that you're here. You need to radically connect. You absolutely do. Well, Barbara, you don't get to go places and celebrate your victories, right? Because when you go places and you say, hey, I'm 36 years sober, people look at you like, well, you should have been sober your whole life, right? So why should I be proud of you? Because they just don't have a clue. Well, I'm wildly proud of you, right? And we're big on doing this one here. Scott Nay, glad you're here, Scott. Squirrel needs a puppy friend. Squirrel may end up with a puppy friend. That is something that could happen. Oh my Lord. Wow. Mischief says 16 years ago tonight, my daughter was in an accident that killed her. She was 22. I'd say 23. I'm sorry. I thought about her that night, but I didn't call her. But my first journal arrived today. Divine timing. Yeah. And now's your call. That's the you'll at least be able to make one end of that phone call. I would start off with a letter. I would write that letter. I write letters to my dad all the time. My dad is gone. I write letters to him all the time. I don't do anything symbolic with them. There are people that that burn them, and there are people that do different things and bury them, and people that take them to grave sites. And I don't. I just write. But I get a tremendous amount out of it. Oh, you found me through Bryce. Bryce is fantastic. Bryce is one of my new favorite people. She's so much fun to do an interview with. She's such a positive person. Looking forward to getting to that part of the world and maybe doing some yoga with she and her husband. I'm really looking forward to that. They do yoga out there, and we got a big show coming up. She and I have a really big show coming up. We're gonna drop a true crime bomb. If you're a true crime person, Bryce and I are gonna do. We're gonna solve a crime for real. Like there's an unsolved crime out there that they've been trying to figure out for a long time, and we're gonna drop some bombs on it. So there's some really exciting stuff coming up with Bryce and I over at her channel on Esoteric Atlanta. Well, somebody just hit subscribe to Rumble because I just got a notification, so it is working. Somebody just found it. I don't know why it's hard to find. I'll be honest. I love how free you can be on Rumble. In so many ways, I prefer Rumble to the big red button. In so many ways. However, here we do get a whole lot more. We get a whole lot more love in terms of how easy this platform is to use. Really, just how easy it is to use. Mischief, that journal is going to be your best friend. It really is. It's going to be your best friend. And I mean, look. I'm never right, not near one, because it's just for me, it's it really is an exciting thing. And I know that sounds crazy, but it is an exciting thing, and it's a painful thing. There are very few things in this life. This is just it's a cliche, but damn, it's a good one. There are very few things in this life that are any good that are going to be very difficult, and that loss has got to be harder than anything on planet Earth. But you working through this and writing in the journal in this is going to change your life. I promise you it is. It's going to be hard, but it is going to be life changing. Chris says hi from Lisbon, Portugal. Wow. Love your channel. Found you through AA. Keep up the good work. It helps a lot. Chris, I am so happy you're here, man. Portugal. I do not believe that I have ever mentioned Portugal here before. Can I get a wrench to post a link to Esoteric Atlantic, please? Atlanta. Pen and paper is therapeutic. I tried it both ways. I have this, and it has a digital feature that I can write on like a pen. but it's different on paper. I just do it better. I have a little travel journal too. Christy Caldwell, you're funny because I have this, which is the travel version of the journal, right? And yeah, you just don't know. You don't know when that thing happens and something strikes you. Like, how many times have you thought I had a really good idea and then I didn't get an opportunity to, to do this, or I was gonna do this and I didn't. And CK says I can never find you on Rumble, Tommy. I mainly listen to Rumble videos, so I'm used to it. But for some reason, your videos are so hard to find. There is a link that was put up by Seventh Son. So if you hit that, if you go over there and hit that, and then hit subscribe, it should be easier to find the next time you go back. That's the key. Hit subscribe, and then it should be easier the next time. Awakened by the Looking Glass. Misha just put up the link, I believe. So, and when you get over there, you're going to see a lot of videos that look just like this, because I have a deal where after about 3 days, anything that I do on YouTube automatically goes to my channel on Rumble. It's like a backup. It's like if they can me tomorrow, which they absolutely could do, right? Because they have the ability to do that, and they do it often. So we're backing everything up over there on Rumble. We didn't in the beginning. We started doing it later on, but it is something that we back everything up on now. But hello, Kayla. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. But the connection thing, people, is something I'm getting emails on constantly. So my big push is going to be to ask everybody, right, to make a concentrated effort. Thank you so much, Mischief. There you go. Rumble search the lifeboat. Yep. Wow. That is different. She'd put a dress on, her mother's, and lie down beside it with her hand in the pocket like her mother was really there. That gives me the creeps. Crazy Brumfield. I'm sorry, but that sounds there's something Norman Bates about that, isn't there? Doesn't that sound like something right out of Psycho, or is that me? There's the link. Thank you, Esoteric Atlanta. So the one playing today says October 22nd. It's probably a bad thumb nail holder because of the fact that I was doing a show before the show and after the show. The placeholder needs to be fixed, so I will have to go in and do that. I apologize. Thank you for letting us know. And I think, go in there and fix that. I will have to check that out, because that is something that I need to get in there and look. I haven't figured out Rumble yet either, and I've got a channel over there. I'm not great at it. I really am not. You know what? If it was therapeutic for her, that's great. There are a lot of really unusual things though. Oh, Christiana, welcome. Well, we're glad that you're here. We would have been just as happy if you were Chris, but it's a pleasure to have you here, Christiana. I hope I said that right. It's a beautiful name. Yeah, journaling prompts do help a lot. And this is something that people have been emailing me about. I'm going to start doing journal prompts. I promise. No joke. It is something that is going to happen. You keep mentioning Jump Street. What is that aside from a show in the early 1990s? Thank you, Ben. It is a phrase that is used that means from the word go, from the very beginning. It's just another cliche, much like from the word go, or from, the very early whatever, Jump Street. They did it from Jump Street was a term that means from the very moment it started. Yeah. Do I have to pay for Rumble? You do not have to pay to come watch me on Rumble, if that's what you mean. Not at all. No, it's a free platform. You, if you're a creator, there's a fee, I think, to set up the account. I don't remember what I paid, but You do not pay to go and watch videos. No, at all. Yeah, a journal prompt idea, making a list of things that you are thankful for is always a great idea. I think that when you journal and you do it in such a way where all you're doing is gratitude journaling is fantastic. It's something that I do when I'm really down. Gratitude journaling will really turn my life around. Oh, nice. There will be 24-hour live feeds in the future. Hold on. Should probably not say that if I'm not sure if Tommy's the last thing I need is him yelling, Tommy not doing another one. It'll happen. Johnny may or may not be willing to do another one with me. Honestly, we talked about doing like a really extreme one, like maybe do even longer. So there's some talk in the works. There's definitely some things coming up. The next 60 to 90 days are going to be the most unbelievable 60 to 90 days for the Scoville brothers that could possibly happen. There is so much going on in the lives of the two of us that it's going to make for a very, very busy, exciting period of time. But the good news is that the boat is what I do now. So the boat will be coming with me for everything I do. Okay. None of this. 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 I tend to bottle it all up and just distract myself. I don't recommend that approach for the long term. I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad that you said that. Because sometimes in the short term, you have to bottle things up, right? There are times in the short term that you cannot sit down and fully process the fact that X, Y, or Z just happened. You know, your daughter calls and who is 18 and says, I'm pregnant and I'm thinking of getting married, right? Okay. You could be in the middle of a board meeting. You could be in the middle of whatever. That's something that's going to knock a dad down, right? And maybe you're not going to be able to deal with that instantly. So very often we have to put it away, right? Don't put it away for any length of time. Okay. Don't put it away for any length of time. And if you have to put something away, put away the all of the nuts and bolts of it, right? Deal with the emotional part. All right, so I got to talk to my daughter about what she's going to do. I got to talk to her about whether or not this guy's worthy of being a husband. I got to talk about all. How about I deal before I get to any of that? How about I deal with how I'm feeling, right? Don't put that off, right? We can put off the nuts and bolts of the issue. We can't put off the feelings of the issue. And if you can separate those two in your head, then you're probably going to be better off. That's right. The mind has 40 to 50,000 thoughts a day, right? And she's right. Christy Caldwell. And of those, right, what they have determined that of those, 80% are recurring automatic negative thoughts. Huh? Yeah. Suzanne, your super chats aren't going through. That may be an Apple issue. Sometimes people with Apple struggle with that. Sometimes it's not. I don't know. Here's the good news: we're not going anywhere, hon. We'll be here. And we all struggled the first time. Did you get your book listed up there? Because we'd like that link. Or certainly give us the name of the book. Dixie, it works for me. And ideally, I'm a photographer. Good to see you, brother. Ideally, I'd like to sit down and deal with it all at once. I'd like to let's get rid of the logistics. Let's get rid of the emotion. Let's get rid of, but that's not always realistic, right? Maybe my kid lives in a different state, right? So I'm not going to even be able to sit down and have a heart to heart or whatever. The emotional part, I cannot afford to bottle up inside me. I know what happens when I do that, right? Heroin happens when I do that. I stick needles in my arms. Eventually, all of the bottling up explodes. And when it does, I do something stupid, right? And I end up on heroin. And my meltdown that I had, I don't know what it is, 3 days ago, a week ago now, whatever. where I went and talked to, I sought professional help. I was doing just that. I was taking care of the nuts and bolts of something, and I wasn't taking care of the emotion of it. And it was just one issue in my life, but it was one issue in my life that I was continually not addressing, putting it away, not addressing and putting it away, and not addressing and putting it. And then my body said, "Guess what? You're going to address this today." And that's not how you want to do it. You want to do it on your terms, right? Ideally, you really want to do it on your terms. Dixie, I use that example, and before anybody sends me an email and says, "Oh, I was reading between the lines," my daughter is not. That's not something I'm having to worry about at this time at all. My daughter's in school, doing great, and not dating. So at the moment, anyway. So that's fantastic. But I use that as an example. I throw that one out. But it's any number of things, right? If ever you find yourself thinking to yourself as a person, I cannot deal with this right now. I'm not going to deal with this today. Deal with the emotional part of it. Deal with the emotional part of it. At least take time and say, how do I feel, right? How does this make me feel? It's such a great question, right? Ask yourself often. How does it make me feel? Penny, you are precious. I think that there's a lot of people that would agree with that. In fact, I know there is. I get emails from people about people. Like, one of the other things about this channel that is absolutely unique is that the people in the chat achieve a level of fame here that's kind of funny. Charlie, the number of emails I get from people who want to tell me they think Charlie Mullins or Seventh Son is just the greatest thing in the world. Like, honestly, it's a bizarre thing, but we have it's very Jackson. Flaming Jackson is another great example. Kiss Freak is another great example. People that have just been around for so long that they're just such a part of the channel that I don't know, you can't think of the lifeboat and not think of them. We've been so blessed that the early, speaking of the devils, and they pop up. Tommy Bird says, I always describe my emotions like a dripping sink faucet with a cup underneath. Eventually the cup gets full, and then whatever goes in comes back out, right? Drip or stream. That's a fact. It's a great way to look at it, right? When that cup is full, whatever goes in is going to come out. And if it goes in there fast and hard and nasty and in a stream, that's just how it's going to come back out. And that's what happened to me. Yeah, the emotions can come back. Absolutely right, Lauren, and an interesting observation. And it's one of the reasons that I think that I do well personally. I do well personally when I can try to separate, like if I can say it's dialectic behavioral training for me is really what it is, right? It's like the DBT kind of stuff where I go, all right, I have this going on in my life, but I still need to do this, this, and this, right? I've got to get that done. And I've got to answer these emails, or I've got to make this phone call, or I've got to talk to this person. I got to do these things. I still got this going on in my life, right? And I don't have the time to deal with it right now. I still have to do what I have to do, but I'm going to sit down and deal with the emotion of it. Because if not, I'm not going to be worth a thought to the people I'm talking to on the phone anyway. There you go. Kirsten says, I write down my negative thoughts and put the paper in a shredder. I think that's actually kind of cool. I think that's kind of cool. I really do. There's something to that. Puffinator says, there are so many new faces. You know what? I love that. I really do. I love that. It's so cool because the new faces become old faces so fast on the lifeboat. Such an accepting group of people. Hey, oh my gosh, this blows so much. My project is going forward, and in a week or two, I'm off Suboxone, but it freaks me out, and I'm scared. I want to stop on my own. I just want to show myself that I can. I did that. I showed myself that I could, and then I went back on. It's a better option for me, and I'm not saying it is for you. I'm not saying it is for anybody on planet Earth. It is for me. I'm a better person. I'm a better captain. I'm a better father. I'm a better everything when I'm on it. So I'm probably going to stay on it for I'm not going to I mean, I'm going to stay on it for the rest of my life. I think a really small dose. It doesn't hurt me, but it certainly, I don't do well when I get off it completely. Like I can get down to a milligram, do a milligram a day, and it's not a big deal. But when I get off of it completely, I find that the automatic negative thoughts triple. I find that I get legitimate cravings, like where I start to legitimately think, I'd love to turn off, 8 hours. I would just love to shut down for 8 hours and not think about the boat, not think about anything. That thought isn't really about anything but heroin. And I know that in my life, when I think, boy, I'd like to just shut down, what that means is I'm considering getting high. I might not be even willing to put words to that yet. Right. I'm thinking about getting high, but that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Hold on 1 second, people. Do a little dead air here. It is never too late to apologize to people, even those who are no longer with us. It is never too late to apologize to people, even those who are no longer with us. And that is important, and that is a fact. I apologize to people that are not here. I write Buddha letters all the time because I'm not over that. I write him letters all the time. I sometimes even email his account, and there's just it's cathartic for me. I'm working through it, and I'm not going to get over that one. Right, that's not one I get over. It's gonna change how I am on the boat for the rest of my life. I talk about him every day. I just took that one so much differently. Cindy Lamb, everybody that we've lost has been like getting hit in the stomach with getting punched really hard in the stomach. That's really what it was like every time. But Buddha was different. I was not just trying to help Buddha get sober. I loved Buddha in a really big way, and that one just hurt me. Oh, it just hurt me in such a big way. But and I'd like to say I'm sorry to him, not because I don't feel like I failed Buddha, but I feel like the medical community failed Buddha, and I feel like they're not going to apologize, And I just want to say sorry that you got a raw deal, because he wanted so bad to be sober, and he was doing it. And he was doing it right, But you can, it's never too late. It isn't. You know what? And I'll be crying about him a year from now, and that's all right too. It is. He was. And if you just got to the boat, I'm sorry you didn't get a chance to meet him, because he was just such a pisser. He really was just such a great dude. He just had a great thing to say about every single person that came out here. He always had everybody laughing, and it was just a tough one. I didn't mean to do this tonight, folks. But I'm feeling a little blue now. But it happens, right? I did. No, I did. The healthcare system did, but it's a bummer. I truthfully and honestly miss him. He was just a great human being. It's an absolutely great human being. Northern Wisconsin. Sincerely, I have my story too. It hurts me to see you sad. So, you know what? Everybody does. If you have a story and you think, you know what, the world would be a better place if they heard my story. There's an addict out there that needs to hear my story. There's one person out there that needs to hear my story. If that's you and you feel that way, reach out to me, because I love telling people stories on here. I love giving people the opportunity to be interviewed on here and tell their story. Reach out to me, right? We will set up that interview. I would absolutely love to make that happen. Steven, it's true. It sucks to lose a good buddy, and he was. I'm really good, believe it or not. I'm really good at kind of compartmentalizing and working with people and not getting attached to them. I mean, or not getting too attached to them. But boy, I got too attached to him. And I don't regret it because it was so much fun. And he was a deadhead and he was from, and he's from Massachusetts and we speak the same language and we knew the same places and we just had so many things that we had in common that it was just it was a good match. And he was such a good. My cousin is in rehab, and there is not a week, he says, that people are not being announced as dead from fentanyl overdoses. Oh, I'm not surprised by that at all. It's an epidemic right now in rehabilitation centers across the country. Because what happens, and this is very common, I did it every time I went away. You get put into one of those centers and you get 5 or 6 days sober, and then you call your friends and you're like, hey, man, I'm allowed to get hygiene. Send me in a shampoo bottle and just put like 3 or 4 pills and seal them in plastic and put them in there. And if you haven't done dope in 2 weeks and you do a fentanyl pill, you're going to die, right? I mean, it's going to happen. And it's happening all over the place. And you think, how do you lose somebody in a facility? Because Narcan's not going to bring you back, right? I mean, so what do? You can do CPR on somebody until you get them to the hospital, but it takes medical professionals and a miracle. Like this stuff is so strong, people. What it does to you now is they give you Narcan, and the Narcan removes it all from your system. And then 45 minutes to an hour later, the Narcan is completely worn out. The dope comes back, the receptors turn on again, and the person overdoses. It's like overdosing 3 and 4 times, having to be Narcaned back on the hour for 12 hours. You know what I mean? Like it's a terrible drug. One of my favorite things to do is go back to the last 3 episodes that Buddha was on. It fills my heart so full. I do that all the time. To be honest, I do that a lot. He was really full of life in the last 3 shows that he was here for. He was so full of life. He really was. I got the text in church about him, and I love his grandmother to death. I love her, and I saw that the text was coming in from Phyllis, and it was tough. It was really tough. Well, you're going to be seeing him again, Todd. Russ is going to be coming on for a little night yard again this week. The healthcare system is broken. I carry 6 Narcans with me for this reason. Thank you. Thank you, Susan. God bless you. Everybody hear that? Everybody hear that? You can go get this stuff. It does not require a PhD to administer Narcan, right? It's not even like the old days where you had to have a needle. Now it's like a nasal spray and you pump it up the nostril, right? So get it, put it in your car, carry it, have it on you, at least in your vehicle, because I promise you, people, you're going to come across somebody who's overdosing this year. It's going to happen. Yeah, Sarah, I cry on the boat more than I cry on the boat a lot. It is possible. It is absolutely possible to be off Suboxone. I have a lot of friends who have successfully gone off it and are happy without it in their life and are living complete and productive and happy lives. I know a bunch of people who have successfully done it. I know people that have struggled and have come back to doing really small amounts. And then there are people that are starting to do the injections instead. So instead of doing the Suboxone, they're taking the Sublocade, right, which is a injectable version of the drug, and it time releases you the Suboxone over the course of the entire month. And you say 6 of one, half dozen of another. But the deal is that you're not putting anything in your mouth, right? There's no ritual. And as drug addicts, that ritual, you're not getting high on it, right? Suboxone doesn't get anybody high, but or it doesn't get an addict high. I mean, it'll get people who've never been on dope high. But This is important here. But what it does is it stops the ritual. So it stops you associating with, I got to take this to be okay. I got to take this to be okay. I got to take this to be okay. You go 30 days without touching anything and you forget that you were ever on drugs, and that's a healthy thing. I mean, honestly, in recovery, you don't, it's nice to forget the ritual. You don't want to forget where you come from. You obviously, I'm not, you understand what I'm saying. I don't need to explain to you. You understand what I'm saying. Tell you what, it changes you when you sit there and look at that little baby for the first time. Well, for some it does, right? And then there are some that it doesn't. So you say, how could you look at your baby and not put down that friggin' bottle of booze? What kind of human being, right? Don't we do that? Do we all do that? To some level, don't we all do that? The reason that some people put it down when they see the kid and some people don't is because it's a different kind of addiction with different people. But what we need to understand, if you're a normie, right, or if you're somebody that doesn't understand the concept of the malfunctioning reward system of the brain, Todd, what you're describing, right, when you see that baby that first time, okay, there are about that much brain chemical that's going to get released into your dome, right? Like all of these brain chemicals, this cocktail of the greatest brain chemicals ever, get all put in at once. Dopamine and adrenaline and oxytocin, everything, all of these things come together to make the ultimate cocktail. It makes ecstasy look like it's not fun because it bonds you to that child like nothing else in the world. Okay, now what if the exact same thing happened the first time you did heroin? What if on top of the heroin, your brain did the same thing it did when Todd saw that child? Because that's what happens, right? That's what happens. A malfunctioning reward center says, Tommy, that piece of heroin is as important as that baby. You need that heroin, right? And there are some people for whom it says, forget that baby. You need that heroin. It's sick, right? But that's what it is. It's a sickness. Who in their right mind would do that? I got news for you. Nobody in their right mind does that. This isn't a right mind issue. If we were talking about people in their right mind, we'd be on a different channel, right? We're in a lifeboat. Yeah, the shot is great. There are very few problems with the shot. If you're interested in the shot, I want you to reach out to me. I'm going to send you to another guy's channel, and I subscribe to it, but I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. But I will send you to his channel. He is just a recovering addict like I am, but he talks a lot about Sublocade because he transferred off of the sublingual to the shot, and he is excellent. He does a really good job at talking about the transition, what it's done, how it's affected him. He does great content, and I've been following him. I've promoted him on the show before, but his name is escaping me. Sorry. St. Francis Hospital gave Todd 3 doses of Narcan. Needle exchange programs will give it away for free. You do not have to be a drug addict to walk into a needle exchange program and say, I want Narcan, right? There are certain pharmacies that will give it away for free, and there are certain pharmacies that will sell it. You know, if you're not, if times aren't hard, go buy some. Trust me, it's a good investment. It will save a life. It's going to save a life. It's just a matter of when. You buy Narcan, someone's life's getting saved, right? But get a lot of it. Don't get one of it, right? Don't do one. That would be a mistake, because unless you happen to get somebody that ate hydrocodone, or you happen to get somebody that was actually still able to find heroin, someone that lives on the Mexican border or something like that, because most people aren't doing tar anymore. There's just not very much of it left. Now this stuff is so hard to bring people back from. I have lost so many friends to opiates and to alcohol, either by choking on vomit or falling downstairs. Addiction is a killer. Addiction is the ultimate killer. And you know what? It kills people in 2 ways, right? There are people that don't physically die, and those are the worst deaths in the world. The addict that can't quit, the addict that keeps saying they're going to, right? And 20 and 30 years go by and they keep saying, I'm about to quit, or I'm trying to quit, or I really am thinking about it, or those are the tragedies. But honestly, it's sadder to watch somebody take 40 years to die than it is to watch them die overnight. Sorry, but it's the truth. Good. Face said that that the fox took the medicine the way that he was supposed to. We're not tired of hearing it. That's your granddaughter, huh, Todd? Congratulations, brother. Congratulations to Todd. Hello, Kimberly Sue Cassidy. Do I think Mark and the rest of the crew realize that they've made a big mistake? Yeah, you bet I do. You bet I do. Yep, there's no question. Yeah, Suzanne, that's a fact. There are people, there are addicts, there are people who look at that and see it as so much responsibility that they give the child up that day. That happens quite often, actually. Um, it's astounding. Suzanne, God bless you. She's been a foster mom for two babies because their family couldn't kick fence. God bless you. Oh, there's no way that the addiction is stronger than the love. It's not. It's that we can't make good decisions. No, the love, there's nothing stronger than love. There isn't. There's nothing stronger than connection. It's the opposite of addiction. It really is. The opposite of addiction is not freaking sobriety. It's not. The opposite of addiction is connection. If you're not connected, you're going to end up using. And the more connections you have in your life, the more connected you are to people. This is why when people say, I'm so worried about you relapsing, worry about me falling down from exhaustion, worry about me doing all people. I'm connected to how many people that are trying to get sober. I mean, honestly, is there stress involved? You betcha. You betcha. But I have so many connections. I've got so many people that I can call, that I can talk to. And there are so many people that I talk to who by accident, right, while I'm trying to lift them up, absolutely change my life, right? I get so much out of all of you. You have no idea. I am living my dream. I didn't know it was my dream, but I'm definitely living my best life doing what I'm doing here right now. Yeah, you know what? I know that that those babies mean the world to you, Snot, and what you're doing is heroic. You know what I mean? Snot is saving these animals that should have ended up, or would have ended up, not should have, but would have ended up as fur coats. You know, these are at box mills and things like that. So absolutely amazing to be able to do something good for them. I love that. That's such a great creepy old name. Give it away to keep it. It's sloganish, but it's accurate. It is 100% accurate. I have never seen anything in life that if you really want to hold on to more than anything else, you really want to hold on to sobriety, you better start giving it away as fast as you can. And I mean as fast as you can. Suzanne, I get it. I get it. But I think that it's fantastic what you're doing. And I get it. I get it. But there are a lot of people that do a lot of bad stuff in the heart of their active addiction. And then they get sober and they go like this. I didn't do that. Right. And then there are those people who have a little bit tougher time washing their hands of it. Right? There are those of us that, I don't know, had a little bit of tough time washing our hands of it. So we go a different route. And those people are heroes to me. They really are. People who take the more difficult of the two positions are always heroes to me. You know, it's funny, wench with a wrench. When at the height of our problems here, the troll community, we brought a bunch of wrenches in to try to protect the boat, and there were a lot of females, and they used to call themselves the wrench wenches, and boy, they were a vicious crew. Absolutely. Absolutely. We are inclined. And for those of you who send positive thoughts and messages instead, do so. For those who want cast a spell, get to casting. Do whatever you do. But we're pulling for our friend Mischief. I know that, as Mischief said, this is going to be a tough. It's going to be tough tonight and tomorrow. Do not suffer in silence. Right? It's got to be the mantra, people. Don't suffer in silence, please. Please don't suffer in silence ever. Come here and talk. And right, connection is a real thing. It is. It's a real thing, and it will change your life. It will. It will start making you work different. Wow. Todd says, look for the Catholic hospitals. It'll say Saint something, right? And in the pharmacies, they will give it to you. $0, but they'll give you 3 bottles. So great idea. We have a St. Mary's here. In fact, I was just recently there. So I'm going to go hit that pharmacy, and I'm probably going to go in with Johnny and maybe get 6 of them in one shot or whatever. But you can't have enough Narcan around right now. You can't. It's the world that we live in. It really is. It is the world that we live in. And people, I am so stuffed up. I apologize. Yeah, there's you're definitely send me do me a favor, Suzanne, reach out to me sober@myyahoo.com, please. Put in the heading, right? Your name because so I don't, but I would love to exchange an email with you if we could. Little Nas Roach. Do I like Little Nas Roach? I'll be really honest with you, bro. If it was made after, say, I don't know, 95, 94, I probably never caught any of it. To be really honest with you, I'm older than dirt. And then I went away for a really long time, right? I disappeared. You needs help on. Yeah, I mean, I understand the people that dislike Facebook. I get it. I do. I hate Facebook. My brother Johnny publicly left Facebook, and I don't remember what he had, 8 or 9,000. I mean, he had so many people following him; it was insane. But it's toxic. Facebook is a toxic environment. I love the lifeboat page over there. I don't consider it Facebook. That's the only reason that I like it, because I'm not a fan. Yeah. There is a St. Francis Hospital in Chicago, big famous one there, to be sure. Yeah. What was the name of that great movie show from the 80s? Saint Elsewhere. Wasn't that the early what's his name? Clooney? That was Clooney's first go around, wasn't it? All right, folks. So, on that note, forgive yourself first, and it'll set you free. There's a lot to that. There really is a lot to that. I think more than half the battle in all of addiction is coming to the realization that you're going to have to, um, you're going to have to forgive yourself. You're going to be a much happier individual if you can successfully do that. Heck yeah, there. Good to see you. Much love. There's a St. Francis Hospital in Indianapolis as well. Apparently, Francis was a busy saint, right? All right, people. On that one, I'm going to call it a night. I'm very much looking forward right now to go and getting some sustenance. This has been a really long one, people. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but I have been asked to give up energy drinks and coffee. So I haven't done any energy drinks today. Didn't do coffee either. And I'm not even slightly bothered by it, you jerks. I'm just kidding. But honestly, it's not that bad. Tomorrow's going to be, I know I'm going to get the caffeine headaches on fairs tomorrow, but for heart reasons and all that, and to make sure that I'm here for a longer period of time, then I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that I'm healthy. And one of those things is that I'm cutting out all of that jazz. All right. I am the captain of this here vessel, Tommy Scoville, and this, how cute she is. Look at her with her paw hanging out of the basket. That is a cat in a basket. You're such a good girl. I didn't mean to wake you. All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you first thing in the morning. That's what we do.